Today we're going to unbox and build two great Mantic Warpath kits. So Mantic's been making their Warpath vehicles and models and stuff for a long time now, right? I personally have never played a game of Warpath, but what I love about Mantic is it's affordable kits that you can do all sorts of crazy stuff with. You can kit bash them, you can pay and want just for funsies. You can, for the most part, generally put these together pretty easily. The challenge is, and this is where it gets me, I might not get a lot of people, is sometimes they don't, well, hardly ever they come with instructions, right? So they do have forums and you can find all that stuff on there, which isn't a big deal. But I like to just kind of open these things up and try to put them together myself, try to kind of figure it out and put the pieces together. Generally, it's pretty easy and I have kind of fun doing it. So let's see what we can do with these two kits, because we're going to unbox and build them right now. So first up is going to be the GCP Mule Transport. So I didn't show you the unboxing itself because, let's be honest, it's just going to come with a bag of parts inside that cardboard insert, so no big deal there. So here they are, all laid out. Let me grab the box here so I have something to look at as a reference. So there's the mule itself. I'm going to set this over here. So like I said, it's pretty fun putting these together. Even though they don't come with instructions, a lot of times what you can do is just kind of look at it and just kind of tell where, all the stuff is kind of coming together. Using the pictures. Now a lot of times, like I said, over on their forum they will have it's pretty much snap together. If you like Warhammer 40k ETBs, as far as like snap together and stuff goes, it's pretty much like that for the most part. I mean, you will have to use some glue obviously if you want to paint and everything like that. I would definitely recommend gluing it together, but overall for the most part they just kind of snap together. Now I'm sure doing that tunneler is going to be pretty challenging in and of itself, but I just wanted to try a couple parts here just to see how we were getting it. So I'm going to keep going here. The one thing I'm concerned about is there looks to be like some sort of front axle system, so I'm going to try to figure that one out on the fly real quick. Okay, let me show you where I'm at here. So we've got everything together. This door probably has to be glued down, so it's probably going to fall out at some point. Please forgive me if it does, but we're to the point where we need to build that front axle system here, and I did. Here's what it's gonna look like. I think I haven't snapped it into place because I don't know if there's ever a point where we don't have any takesy backsies, but it's these strut pieces here, these side shocks, and some sort of internal strut as well right there. So I'm gonna try to get up in here. It looks like everything lines up hole wise because it's gonna go like this. And then we're gonna snap these tires onto there. The little tires just go right in there. So I think we're good to go, but I'm gonna try it. Okay, so I think we about got it figured out here. So the easiest way to do this is to actually use this little diagonal strut. You're gonna want to lock it into place upside down into the chassis, and then put the top piece right here, these struts in the front, just kind of lock that in, and then you're going to put your strut piece over top of it, and it should line up. This probably should be glued, but we did not glue it down. That's okay. So I think for the most part I might have to get like kind of smushed in there a little bit, but I think we're good to go. Oops, that's not. And then the tire will fit right on there. So we'll tinker with that here in a second. That looks to be the best way to do it. So looks like everything goes together as expected. Probably gonna want to glue that front bumper on a little bit, and it'll be a little bit more stable. But putting the tires onto the struts themselves is pretty easy. You can see right here, if you have to, just kind of wiggle it in a circular kind of motion, and it will get that right in there. And it's way easier to actually attach these like so than to kind of fiddle around with it all, trying to smush this in after not using glue. So then it locks into place right there. So now for the most part we should be good to go. Oh, that hatch fell off. Boom. And there's a couple different gun variants that you can do. There's some sort of submachine gun and some sort of like pulse laser thing here, or machine gun. I kind of like the pulse laser, so we're gonna put that on the top right there, and then you can get some duders in the back. Now size wise, how does it compare? I told you that piece is gonna fall out. Dead to me piece. How does it compare to other stuff? Well, here is Mr. Everyday Guardsman himself. So he fits back in the back there pretty well. And then you can compare it to another famous space transport as well. So it's gonna be a little bit smaller. It's probably more on scale with like a Torox, but unfortunately I don't own a Torox model. I didn't really buy into those when the hype was real, so I actually don't have any. But lengthwise it's gonna be a little bit shorter. Well, actually it's probably about just as long as a Rhino. However, it is not quite as wide as a Rhino right there. So very, very cool kit. I think for the price, well, you can't say enough good things about the price right there. And it looks like those are bowing a little bit, so you're gonna want to glue those down. But other than that, I am like I said, I love looking at their stuff. It's got moving parts. A little ramp comes down in the back, and then you can pew pew with the pew pew and switch them out, whatever you want to do right there. Lots of cool options with this one for sure. Next up is the Vermin Tunneler. Now this thing, man, I saw this thing first came out. I was really excited to get my hands on one and get the scale and see what kind of, you know, conversions and such we can do. And it's actually got moving parts. You can see right here, you can switch out a couple of guns in there, and obviously the little drill pieces here move out. And like I said, actually unboxing these things isn't very exciting. It's just, well, all right, well, it's just parts. This one's just parts. So here's all the pieces laid out. Like I said, I don't play the game, so I don't know what this stuff does. Like, there's two different weapons here. These could be a Snarf Blaster and a Dingle Hopper for all I know. I don't really know what they do, and I just know they look cool. And there's definitely some potential here for conversion work or something. You know, you could definitely clip that off and put some sort of Orky weapon or something from 40K if you wanted to make some sort of looted jalopy. And of course, we know there's the new little termite tunneler from Forge World as well. So this might actually be something very cool. I can tell you right now, it probably is about the same size as one, just kind of eyeballing it there, because I thought it was a little small, but then when I put it together, it seemed to be about the right size. So I'm kind of feeling that way with this too. Now, no instructions, no big deal. There isn't that many pieces, folks. We got this. So just glancing at it, I can tell there's kind of like a little bit of symmetry issues, because it looks like this top piece, depending on which way you go, is going to dictate what you do. If I had to guess, a top piece here, let me look at the box. I'm cheating, I'm looking at the box. So okay, so that looks to be like something like this maybe, but either way, we're just gonna nug through it, and it looks to be, for the most part, you know what, I bet you that's wrong. I bet you that's the way to go. So a little bit of trial and error here, but not using glue, which is kind of hilarious to me. And nope, that's the wrong way. I don't want that sticking out. Not using any glue. Oh, okay, I see what's happening here, which I think is pretty neat. So, and it's just kind of sticking together for the most part. There we go. That gives us a solid front. The treads, I would imagine the 3 are up. 3 might be, yeah, I would say you'd have the diamond pattern down. And this, yeah, that looks good. Okay, so, and then these plates here would just probably insert. Yep. So I mean, for the most part, it's pretty easy. I'll just bring you in case there's any gotchas that you need to be aware of. But I mean, I'm right here so far, so it didn't take long. That was actually way easier than I thought it was going to be. So we got to the front here, and there's these little contraptions that control the drill rig, or the little pieces that flip out. I don't know what to call them. We'll call them support struts. I think that notch should be up there. So you can either do with the weapon coming out here, or you can do closed like a portal, like I'm assuming this is some sort of transport or something, so duders can jump out. So that being said, it looks like you can safely, well, you want the pistons out, you can safely kind of slide these down into here so they get into the recess, which is super easy to do. Well, if you're not pushing the wrong piece down through there. And then you come along and line up your notches here. Boom. Well, no, maybe not. Okay, there we go. So somehow there's a notch. I guess you want to not, oh, I see. Okay, so you want to line that notch up. Just spitballing. Okay, these things move, so then we're gonna line that up with the front piece that has the little prow sockets. Okay, so yep, that lines up pretty well. And the only thing that's really left to do is just add your little drill pieces here, but I need to stabilize that with a little poster tack, I think. So give me a sec, let me do that, bring it back in and knock this out. Well, that works swimmingly. So I put a little piece of poster tack on the inside of each of the joints, so I locked in pretty much everything. Now these flip out and lock into place, whether you glue it or use poster tack, believe it or not. So we're just gonna lock in our little drill rigs right here, and for the most part should be good to go. Yeah, there we go. So check that out. And then these flip down, bzzz, and out pops the Foot Clan. No, wait, out pops the Vermin or the Admech. I don't know what's going on. What? Where am I? I don't know. But this thing's pretty neat. I don't know what the price point is on it quite yet, but yeah, I'm really stoked on this. Like, this will make a great base, and the fact that you have these panels here. Now, remember, Mantic's affordable gaming here, folks. This is the same thing as, you know, this is a great base for a conversion of some sort, something like that. So you can do all sorts of cool stuff with those plates. It leaves them room for expansion. I am really digging this. So these little prow pieces is the only thing left to go on here. And those would just glue on right there. Those probably need to be glued on. So I have not glued them on. But man, look at that thing right there. Master Shredder would definitely be proud to have his troops disembarking out of one of these bad boys right here. But like I said, I don't know the exact points cost or dollar cost on it. I mean, it can be points whatever you want it to be. But let's take a look compared to the ubiquitous Rhino APC, and there it is. Definitely bigger, but not quite as girthier. So bigger but not quite girthier, and then of course it's going to take up quite a bit of a profile when you flip those pieces out like that. So I like it. Very, very cool. My poster tack is starting to fail me. That's all right. No big deal there. So let's jump over to Mantic's website, show you guys where to pick up either of these great kits for, well, your Warpath army, or to make some dope counts as or conversions for another popular tabletop game. So first up is the Mule for the GCPS faction right there. This, of course, is on Mantic.com. 17.99 pounds. I think that's like $23 or $24 American money right there. Comes with all sorts of, well, you can zoom in on it here and kind of see a little bit more of the detail. Like I said, this front section is a little bit challenging. You're gonna have to use a little bit of glue, but hopefully this video helped you. And then there's a couple of different oh, okay, I see. So it just flips up, and then there's the back ramp, which I thought was pretty neat, and that just flips down, and the little duders jump out. So very ingenious little kit. Looks like this was a 3D prototype. Ah, I'm onto your secrets. Look at this. You got it 3D printed and all painted up first. No, it does look good. I like the OD green kind of camo scheme here. So $17.99 for this bad boy, which I feel like for the price point is very reasonable. And next up is the Tunneler. So there is some interesting things here. They have a troop transport section upgrade, right? That's really neat to see. I was like, why would you even do that? And then I thought about it. I was like, oh, it locks in the back here. If you don't put this piece on it, you could just lock it in, right? So you make it like a I don't know, what do they call those tractor trailers, like too wide, right? Piggybacks, I think so you can just piggyback it, which is really cool if you start thinking about it. So you can get that, it's a little bit cheaper, or you can get the whole front, and it has all of this stuff on here. You know, your dingle hopper and your snarf blaster. I don't know what they're called, but they look pretty cool. And then of course, you know, all the moving parts and all sorts of things right there. And then there's a scale miniature kind of comparison to the rats from the Warpath game. So $24.99 pound sterling. So that's about $31, $32 US currently, depending on which way the wind is blowing across that great pond there. So two great kits for Mantic that you could use for a lot of well, a lot of counts as and a lot of different games out there today. So if you like these kind of review, unbox, and builds here on the channel, make sure you drop us a little subscribe and work out those hobby muscles. Hit that notification button as well to be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.